I'll tell you that.
Okay. What do you want?
Got my pen to your right.
Hope it works. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome. Welcome to another edition of Contos Comments. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a subject I know very little about: women. Now, why am I doing this? Some women kind of coerced me into doing this. They thought that men automatically know about women. What we don't know, we could fill a book. It would be empty, because the only thing I know about women is what I perceive from my lowly worm perspective. Now, tonight we're going to try to answer many of your questions. If you have anything as we go along, simply put it in the chat line, and my friend Karen sitting next to me will read it to me, and I'll try to get to it. We're hoping to do 3 different segments, and they're going to be dealing with women, the more serious side of women, and the both sides of men and women. But before we get into that, I want to tell you how I had been reading a book that moved me so much that I wrote something about my feelings about women. Now, I caution you that some of what I am about to read might be somewhat offensive, and I apologize from the very beginning. I have no intent to offend anyone. I am trying to be honest with you and trying to tell you how I feel, how I have connected through all my life with women, and how I want to connect with them the rest of my life, not only in this world, but in any other world that we may find ourselves in, perhaps another lifetime. Which type of woman do you really want? Women. Can't live with it, can't live without them. They are our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, our cousins, our nieces, our aunts. At some point, they will become our lovers. The very thought of them can instill the greatest desire to procreate and to continue the species. This can be healthy and beautiful if there is a mutual consent and admiration. But for some, the mere sight of a woman, particularly the most alluring and the most sensuously appearing woman, can drive men, some weak men, crazy with desire. A desire that becomes more like an obsession, a single-mindedness to possess and to dominate, to capture and imprison with insane jealousy, to treat a woman as nothing more than an object to live for, an object to die for, with the ugly, mistaken belief that the man is doing it out of love. I like to think of myself as a lover of women, yet I've been called a woman hater by too many people to ignore that perception, that observation of me. Maybe it's because I always try to elevate women, to place them above me. I would put them on a pedestal where I could honor them, cherish them, and even worship them, as if they were not human but superhuman. I'd also expect them to be using superwoman powers, to do no wrong, to be better than myself, to be the better part of myself, and to always live up to the highest ideals that no human, be it man or woman, could ever live up to. And when they would inevitably fail, when they would fall from the pedestal, I would have no one else but myself to blame for raising these impossible, unrealistic expectations. An expectation that only the most holy, righteous, and pure who have ever walked among us could ever meet.
Michael, can we interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
There's some questions from the viewers.
Sure.
There's a bit of a running theme here. Blank Rue is asking, why do men love talking about women instead of talking about men? This viewer goes on to say, they don't even think that men know what love is. And why do you always need a superwoman to save you? Can't you save yourself?
Good question. I can't answer it. I know that love that I have known as a child, love that I have known as a adolescent, love that I have known as a young man, seemed to come through my contact with women, my connection with women. It is only when I learned that this connection, this pure agape type love, agape mean a divine love, I can have not only for women, but with men. What I'm trying to get across to you is that I was asked to speak about women, and I can only do it from my perspective and how I feel about women. And this all came to me this past week. I was at this retreat, and I noticed that there were two different types of women. On the one hand, there were the real knockouts. I mean, whoa! I mean, to tell you, they had the most beautiful gold and silver adornments and things around their beautiful necks and on their fingers, around their wrist, and some even had the gold and silver on their ankles. They were just gorgeous to look upon, and they glittered like a gift, just waiting for me to view them and for other males to view them from afar and to admire them from up close with eyes that I could look into and see enhanced by the best and the perfect shade of mascara, the eye treatment, the contact lenses. I would smell the alluring scent of their perfume, a perfume that was only created for a woman to stir the desires of a man. Such a scent could make a man lying on his deathbed desire a little bit more of life just so that he could lie with a woman. Lie with a woman and perhaps receive one kiss before meeting the angel of death. Lie and become just like the praying mantis male, mating with the praying mantis female.
Michael, we had said that this was going to be a conversation, so in our broadcast, this would be the last question before the conclusions of this segment.
Okay.
But you're outlining here in your diatribe that there are two different types of women. One of our viewers asked, what if there are 10 different types of women and you have no idea? Why 2?
I am talking from quantum physics. The only reality I have is from me. I create the reality by seeing through my 5 senses. We're going to cut now and then return, and I'll give you more answers when we come back.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. We have 10 more minutes to go. So you can continue.
We have, as they said on Saturday Night Live, never mind. Okay, now, to touch such a woman. Diatribe? Who the hell is saying diatribe? Hey, buddy, I wish you were here in front of me. I'd give you a diatribe. I'd knock your diatribe way off your head.
That was me. Sorry.
Karen, you're going on with diatribe? This is love. Now, you have to wait until the ending to put both parts together to see where truth comes from. Listen to the singer of truth. That's contos. To touch such a woman, to feel her hand in mine, her soft arm around my shoulder, her gentle squeeze on my back as an involuntary sigh rises up within. And all I want is to hold her closer and closer in my arms and then to savage her like a beast attacking her essence and entering her very being, pouring my evil inclination into and onto her again and again and again.
Cool. Why did you go to this retreat you're talking about? What was it all about?
This was
Sex?
a spiritual retreat. This was my attempt to correct many of the failings that I have in my life, many of the dirt, many of the crap. Listen, there's something that Catholics talk about, which is called original sin. And I'll tell you, man, when I got baptized, I thought I was going to get rid of that son of a bitch. Nuh-uh. Original sin is the crap that stays with me, a male. Let me tell you something. Us guys are nothing but dogs. We are wolves. We are lower than dirt. I'll tell you, if you get a guy to admit to you, and not in front of his wife, not in front of his girlfriends, but between 2 guys, 6 guys, and ask him, what is it like when you see a woman who is dressed to kill? What is the thought? What is the desire that you have? Is it anything close to spirituality? No. Bullshit. What it is a desire to copulate. That's not bad. And we need that. We need that to procreate, to continue with the species. But when you're dealing with spirituality, that is the furthest thing that you would want. That's the furthest thing I want. I want a connection. I want to be with goodness. I don't want to look at a woman.
Michael, one of our viewers, Everything is Good, is asking, is it a sin for me to sleep with 10 women at one time?
God, if you can get a pill beyond Viagra to sleep with 10 women, you can be a billionaire, and you and I can go in business and start our own religion. For God's sakes, what do you mean sleep with 10 women? To get your rocks off? Bullshit. Sleep with one woman because you love to be with her, to feel her touch, to have her embrace you and love you. Now that is what I see when I see a desirable woman, to feel her touch. But it's not the desirable woman that I want. It's not the desirable woman that I found in the retreat. It's the other type of woman that I found was a true love, a real lover. One. She didn't have a whole bunch of perfume. She didn't have a lot of makeup on. She didn't have the colors or paintings on her face. Yet she was beautiful. She was pure. She was healthy.
One of our viewers is asking questions about these kind of generalizations we're making about men and women, and says, I don't think men are so bad. Not all humans are the same. Are we not individuals?
We're individuals, but, there used to be a saying that I think we're going to be getting close to a time. We're all individuals. Unfortunately, I am a very weak individual at times. And unless I have been in a mode, a spiritual mode, I look at some women with a desire that's not good, because I can't screw every woman I see that turns me on. What I want is a friend in a woman. I want someone who kind of looks like me. It doesn't have all the glamour about her. I want someone to be a friend, a true friend, someone that will listen to me, someone that I can listen to, someone that I can open up to. Sometimes I can't do that with a guy. I can't do it with a bunch of guys. But I can with something that the French gave us called the confidant, the type of woman that I can talk with, to open my heart to, not to get in the bed with, but to become true friends with. This is the second type of woman, and they are to be glorified when we find them. They are to be elevated, not to be superhumans, but to be super friends. Do we got any more questions? We're going to be breaking.